money still chasing the mill. Wasn't lucky, I've been in the field. Got money still chasing the mill. Wasn't lucky, I've been in the field.
Welcome to In the Field Radio. I'm Erin Boogie. I'm here with Rapz.
Yeah, what's going on? What's going on, people?
How was your weekend?
Weekend was good. Had a lot of fun. It was lit. Shout out to all my Boricuas celebrating Puerto Rican Day. You know what I mean? Stepping out to the parade. Shout out to everybody in Saratoga Springs doing non-Latino activities as well.
Yeah, we were doing bougie horse activities.
That's dope, though.
It was.
Did you came up on some money?
Yo.
Are we allowed to talk betting on?
Yeah.
All right.
We could talk about how I hit that trifecta.
There you go.
So for those that don't know, I picked the 1, 2, and 3 horse in that order for the Belmont. So I'm pretty
That's
stoked
like
on that.
4, 5, 6 for anybody who don't understand.
I'm not gonna lie to you. When I saw that, because I was paying attention to the 1, 2 horse because it was the 2 horses that were the biggest names out there right now. So when they crossed the finish line, it was really exciting. But when I looked up at the board and I saw the number 3 horse, I was like, okay.
You hit.
Yeah. Yep. I knew I hit.
That's dope. Yeah, man. I had a nice weekend. I was over at Midnight Ferry on Saturday.
Yeah, you got to talk about that because I think
During the
people
day.
need to know about that.
Okay. Yeah, so Midnight Ferry, I was there on Saturday down at the waterfront. Dope little spot. You should check it out. It's got ice cream on the front part, little speakeasy type vibe, bar in the back.
I love that concept.
Yeah. During the day, though, shout out to my man Wonka. It was his 40th. We were all out there. A lot of familiar faces.
I heard there was a retreat reunion.
There definitely was. Shout out Jig, Tony E, Semi, Rich Morris, the Zoo. The list goes on. And then the following day, we got House of Berea in Middletown. Had a jump in for the Puerto Rican Day brunch out there.
So everyone that didn't go to the parade was there.
Yeah. That's what it was for. You know what I mean, for whoever don't feel like going all the way out there, who's going to be the DD. You know what I mean? That's there we go. We got it for you. Don't worry about it.
Friday night, I went to that event down in Newburgh.
Yeah. There was a showcase out there.
Yes. It was good. It was dope. I had a good time. Ran into In the Field alumni Will Power.
Oh, I saw on his story that he was performing. I'm like, bro, why you ain't tell me?
Yo, why he ain't performed Baddie Shuffle though?
Hey, it was his own set or he just jumped on?
No, he jumped on Frank Benz's set and he performed one of his songs. But it was dope. It was nice to run into him and it was nice to see him perform. Frank Benz, I felt like he was on everybody's set. I didn't realize he had songs with literally everyone in the A45.
There you go. Any artists that came across your radar that you would have never known was in the field?
Yeah, what was the girl's name that we were just talking about?
Sammy Lowe.
Yeah. Yep, I thought she was dope. Neptune, which
shout out Neptune.
I'm obviously familiar with DJ Neptune. He used to DJ some of the shows at the Chance, and he used to host the shows at the Chance. But that was my first time actually seeing him perform. Isn't that funny?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
From out this way too, right?
Yeah. Okay. Yep. I think mostly he stay in Albany, but from out this way. So that I was like, wow, that's crazy that this is the first time I'm seeing him perform, but like have seen him, host and DJ and do all that stuff. So that was pretty cool.
Versatile with it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So we were just talking about our updates before we started getting on the air, right? Mm-hmm. And we have no Diddy update,
which is crazy.
At this point, it's just mess on top of mess, which we know everything that we've already been kept up on. But I feel like at this point, we just kind of trying to figure something. I'm reading like crazy tabloids of like, when there's nothing to really talk about and there's no new details because we're just talking about like, yo, we heard he might be reading secret notes through his mom's wig. We're like, yo, what's happening right now?
Which I think it's okay that we don't have an update. It gives us a break. We don't have to talk about it. It gives our listeners a break. They don't have to listen to it. So.
Oh, for sure. It's like cleansing the
the
timeline here.
Yeah, because sometimes it does get a little depressing having to think about all that every week.
Oh, for sure. But what else we got? We got a Lil Wayne album.
I heard it.
Did you? What do you rate this?
-15 mics? No, I didn't want to prejudge it because I got a couple songs in. I'm not even sure how far I got in. And I was like, it just sounds at this point like he's stringing words that rhyme together, and I'm not feeling this. And so I stopped listening to it. And so I don't want to give it a rating based off that without having listened to all 19 songs. But listening to 19 songs of that in one sitting was going to be really hard for me.
Listen, we're going to be real. This can't be what y'all was fighting about the Super Bowl over.
No, because he proved everybody that was saying he can't perform at the Super Bowl's point.
Crazy to see. You know, I would have rated it. I wondered if what we received from Wayne, and it's not to say maybe he didn't decline as much as we all feel, but have we just seen him perform at this particular level for so long? It's kind of like we've seen this before, even though it's not bad.
Oh, we definitely have seen it before, but or is it also that did we just grow up and he didn't progress?
Possibly.
That's I'm trying to figure it out. I'm trying to figure it out because I'm not sure, because when I listen to the Carter 3 or I listen to, you know, the older mixtapes or the Carter 1, I don't feel that way.
I think also we got to remember that there's nostalgia attached to it.
100%.
Like when we hear particular albums, we're like, yo, 7th grade, we were rocking. Yo, when the summer of 12th grade, when we graduated, we partied the hardest because we knew it was our last summer together. So this is album, you know what I mean? Like things kind of on the time periods of your life. So that's also what I didn't want to listen to it with, like, you know,
the prejudice.
Exactly. But ultimately, I really wasn't feeling a lot of the songs. I was shocked at myself by how many times I pressed skip.
Yeah. But even, I want to say even the production really didn't grab me. And that was always something that Lil Wayne was propped up by too, where it was like, even if some of his songs were not necessarily the greatest, like lyrically, where I was like, oh, all right, this is like a mid-Wayne song, the production was always pretty fire. And I felt like with this album, I was just kind of like, meh.
I mean, like I said, I was just shocked at how many times I hit skip. I do like hip hop with Big X the Plug.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was a feature on the third verse. I'm sorry for not remembering the name, but smoked it. And I feel like that's what it's about. Do you wonder if this is more of a passion thing for Wayne more than like I'm intending to make the best quality of music?
I think at this point for sure. He definitely doesn't have to make music.
I looked at a lot of the features. A lot of them were younger. I thought
that was cool.
Other Wayne features that Wayne has given as of the past 6 months to 8 months. And you think Wayne's given a verse to Jello for the Tweaker. I feel like he's just kind of like slinging out features and verses to these young artists now. And at this point, he's doing it for the love.
No. And some of the discourse that I saw online was people talking about the features.
Yeah.
That they felt like they didn't make sense. But when I was looking at the features, that was the first thought that crossed my mind. And then I thought, no, actually, I don't feel that way. I feel like he got on some songs with some older artists, right? And then you saw like the Bono feature, which I thought like, okay, that's Lil Wayne flexing. Like, yo, I'm that guy. I could get Bono on a track. You know what I mean? Like, I felt like the features were exactly what they were. Like, who else did you think that he had Manny Fresh on there? Like, who else did you think that he was going to get on the track at this point?
Drake?
No. I didn't expect that. I didn't expect a Nicki feature. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't think those things were coming.
I feel you, man. I don't know. Just a little below par for what we were expecting, I'd definitely say.
Really? I don't know. I guess it was...
What's your favorite Carter?
That's tough. That's always tough for me. It kind of depends on the day. But I have a lot of nostalgia for a certain reason around the Carter 3. And
it's 3. You know it's 3.
Well, and it also, I had a friend that passed away that I used to listen to that with. So there's like a lot of that surrounding that.
Carter 3 is the one because Wayne exercised abilities that we didn't know he had over beats that were very carefully and tactfully picked. You know, nothing was like, yo, like, oh, man, it's just.
And he was definitely for sure in his prime at that time.
Oh.
The leading up to that was such a fantastic project.
Everything.
The mixtapes, the features.
But yes, for the past 20 something years, we've been getting Wayne
Gunsmoke.
as a crazy level. Do you feel like things like this tarnish people's legacy when they get later on in their career?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I think that artists are supposed to keep putting out music, and I don't think that every album is going to be their best body of work. It would be like if, Guns N' Roses dropped an album right now, like people would listen to it and they would tell you that it's garbage.
All right, like last week, I believe it was, we spoke on Billy Joel.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Does Billy Joel put out music at newer music?
No.
Everything's old, and he's running around selling out stadiums, arenas, and then forth off of old music.
Yes.
That's what I feel like hip hop acts
need to do.
Could do. I'm not going to say should do, but could do, because maybe doing this where we see, he, his right jab is slipping, and whatever it might be, but he could easily be doing what he swore he could do at the Super Bowl every night, just somewhere else.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
So that's what I think I might rather see. Obviously, if I try to look for examples like other artists that are kind of like down,
I think
depreciating with it, like I can't think, like there's Kanye, but then there's like Wayne's not doing what Kanye's doing.
No. And that's what I'm trying to think of, like other rock and roll acts, because there are acts that do put out music every so often and it's like, it's not that, their music from their prime, and people still go see them and they'll perform a song or two off the, I think Tom Petty was still putting out new music. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Past, what his peak was, and people were still receptive to it and going to see it, and he would play a song or two off the new album, but he knew that people were there for what they were there for, and that's what he was giving them. You know what I mean? So I think there's room to do that. Like, I definitely don't think people are going to see Lil Wayne perform the Carter 6 in its entirety. So, it's like touring in support of that. People don't want to see that. They want you to go see you perform your hits and maybe a song or two off the Carter 6, and you could sell out stadiums doing that.
Listen, Beyonce's giving us great music right now. All right, I don't need nobody. I got when she got so many people behind her, you got to preface if you say anything about her, right? But what she's making right now, like country music, like core Beyonce fans are like, yo, we support it because we rock with you and been rocking with you for so long. You got us here. But they not rocking with the country music like that.
Yeah. Which makes sense.
Let me know where Beyonce is performing jumping, and I'm there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yes.
Sir, and that's, yo. Like Beyonce would go crazy if she was performing her older work, but I feel like that's all, obviously, again, that's a whole different beast, because what she's able to do, this is all leading up to, I will eventually be performing all of my hottest joints.
Yes.
As Billy Joel does.
Yep. Yeah, no, she's definitely going to be one of those legacy acts, for sure.
Of course. Any other music come out recent? Came across your radar by chance?
Honey Baby's album. We didn't talk about it last week.
We didn't. How you feel about that?
We
were talking off air about what we thought the single was going to be.
Well, did you see she dropped the single with Lil Kim?
Did she?
Yeah.
Nah, I got to check that out.
Dropped the Left Eye remix with Lil Kim. Were we not talking about it?
We were. Okay.
Don't you feel like sometimes people are listening to you?
I was wondering what joint Lil Kim was on when you mentioned it, but because we were talking about just the third single, like, we already had these two out. Obviously the cinematography for it is crazy.
Yeah.
We're seeing a lot of like real production where it almost looks, movie like. So, in a time where music videos aren't deemed to be the most important thing that an artist brings forth, it's great to see that.
I almost feel like they heard us talking about it.
No, that's a fact. I always think that. I'd be like, yeah, see, I could have been in this boardroom making that decision.
That's what I'm saying. Like when I saw that come across my email, I was like, heard us. Who was listening?
Well, listen, man, we're going to get into some music right now. Speaking of, all right. It's your boy Rapz, Erin Boogie with me. Always every Monday night, rocking 10 p.m. How you feel about that mix, man? I see you was jamming over there. You was like, I haven't heard that in a minute.
It made me want to go to a Spanish party.
Yeah.
Because I've been listening to reggaeton in the car lately. So
Okay. When did you first get introduced to reggaeton?
Nori in 1990, whatever, with Daddy Yankee.
Okay. You was dating a Puerto Rican dude at the time?
No, I feel like Jamaican, actually.
Okay. Oh, man. But yeah, we back. A lot of talks this weekend. I saw a lot of good conversations on the timeline, especially some things involving music and some things involving particularly DJs. There was a girl whose video has seemed to be going viral talking about that she goes to the club and she does not want to hear older music.
What?
She don't want to hear older joints, and she's kind of saying that, hey, I don't hear no new music from 2025 when I go to the clubs.
Well, yeah, because you can't dance to it.
There's that. I felt like there was a conversation to be had. Obviously, there's plenty of reasons why.
Well, I was also going to say, but I guess then read the room. Like, you're not going to see a DJ necessarily that plays 2025 music either. So go to a place that plays that, right? Like, I know that if I'm going out and I want to listen to reggaeton, then I'm going to have to go to a Spanish club, right? So I know where to go to.
Or go to somewhere that got a Latin night or something.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'll specifically seek that out. But I'm not going to go to a club that doesn't play that and then complain that they're not playing that. So I guess you need to be educated on where you're going and what they're playing and who the DJ is.
I feel like she was more so talking about like she goes everywhere and hears it, but there's definitely a reason why. Now, there's DJs, okay, I'm booked. I'm here for the night. This is my job tonight. If I do good tonight and I give everybody, not just you, but everybody what they want, this spot's going to be rocking with me. Obviously, there's other factors as well. If you bring people out, if it's...
Yeah.
Right? But when you got them, it's your job to keep them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And we talked about like familiarity. I mean, even as far as booking a DJ, there's familiarity involved. Because I may not go to who's the best or the most skilled or the person that charges the most. I'm going to go with who I'm most familiar with, who I think the area might be and the patrons might be more familiar with.
Yeah.
So when it comes to the songs, I need to play. I'm not playing the songs that I even want to play.
No, you're playing what's going to keep getting you
playing
booked.
what's going to exactly, and there's things that you could fit in between when we have a radio show and we could slip you Will Power right next to Bay Swag's hot single. That's what we're doing. You know what I mean? And that's what we call it being seamless. Like, you don't know that what you got is not at this status, but when I put it together, it all sounds cohesive.
Yeah.
So a lot of the 2025 stuff, yes, you're right. Like, you can't play it. It's also 2 minutes long. So,
yeah.
It's only a verse and a hook. And then I got to get out of it. And then, if I got people of all ages that ain't going to rock with this new song that just came out, then everybody's going to know.
Well, there's a reason why.
Certain songs. They're going to know the Drake joints. They're going to know all the new Kendrick for sure.
Yes.
But they also going to know, here comes the hot stepper. They're also you feel me? They're also gonna know Heavy D. They also are gonna know Poison.
Yes.
They're gonna know Candy Rain.
Yes.
They're gonna know, and now I'm just.
Well, and the drunker they get, they want to scream Dreams and Nightmares. They want to hear Bobby Shmurda. They want to hear. There's a reason why those songs last, and there's a reason why Cash Cobain. No one wants to hear that.
What we're naming later. Right now are all different genres.
Absolutely,
because
yes.
we've spoken about. You just went to this, but we were just talking about Trey Songz. We were just talking about,
and all came out in different generations.
Exactly. So my thing is, all of these songs, though they reach like a broad span of even just a few artists we named, few songs we named, this is all goes back to this is what people are familiar with.
Yeah.
So you got to give me something that's hot, that's like literally swept, boots on the ground is getting spun. So you're hearing 2025 music out. It just may not be. And I also feel like I have conversations with other DJs, and we've kind of the consensus is there's, not to be like, oh, younger generation, but there's a point in time where I think people have gotten so reliant on DSPs, Spotify, Apple Music, whatever it might be, that people are so used to now, whatever song I want to hear, I'm going to hear it now.
Yeah.
And it's instant and it's at the tips of your finger.
Yeah.
So that when you go out, even when I see people making requests, it's so much like, yo, you ain't play it. And it's like, yo, you want me to take it all the way to there from here. And it's like, yo, there's BPM. There's so many factors that it's like, yo,
but I don't think
I can't rely on this one request you got for me to throw off my night, even at times. Like, yo, shout out to all the DJs, because DJs do take requests, but it's like within reason. Like, you can't ask me for something crazy, ridiculous that doesn't go with anything that's happening right now in this moment or the night, and then be like, yo, yeah, why you ain't play that next? And it's like, yo, because you just requested.
But like your average drunk person doesn't understand those factors.
Yes, to her, it's my birthday.
Yeah. And I want to hear whatever I want to hear, and I want to hear it now.
And I need more Sabrina Carpenter.
Oh, Jesus.
You know, that was a big thing last summer, the Sabrina Carpenter. Everybody was going crazy for that. But yeah, again, it's just I felt like that was a good conversation, but maybe to make people more
aware.
Yeah, that it's like, you know, what I spend tonight. Like, put it like this: these are all things that are proven to work. This is why you're getting music now that have songs sampled on them from 15 years ago, 20 years ago. Because even now, you can't even get a single to pop without relying on the thing that you're familiar with.
Yes, the nostalgia factor.
There you go. So it all ties in together. But yeah, for sure. Just, you know, if anybody's wondering, like, yo, why every time I come out, I gotta hear this, I gotta hear that. It's just like, yo, that's what it is. You know.
I also want to have the conversation real quick, since we're talking about DJs, about artists coming out to support DJs when they want their singles played.
Oh, nah, that's definitely a thing that you don't see as much.
It's a lost art.
Yeah, because people think like, yo, it's just like, yo, slip me in, like it's like a playlist, like, yo, just add me to it. You know what I mean? But it's like, yo, bro, share the flyer, pop out that night. I remember back in the day, you wanted your song played. There wasn't, I'm going to email it to you. There wasn't a lot of these things, like, you know what I mean? Not to even date myself right now, but it's like a lot of these things weren't even a lane to attempt something with.
Yes.
Back then, it was really more so like, yo, I got to pull up. I got to pay the fee at the door. I'm not going to be shouting about who I know on the inside of the club. I'm going to swing a drink and maybe a $10 bill on top of that to the DJ. And I'm going to fall back and be like, I hope he plays it.
Yo, listen, and there was a time where you either had to bring the single on a CD or vinyl.
Drive. Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? So it's like, yo, the fact that, no, we're not even talking hard drive, you know what I mean? Or like thumb drive. Like there was a time when you had to actually press it on vinyl and bring it, you know what I mean? So it's like these artists have it very easy.
Or the CD, just the burnt CD, but like, yo, it was 1, 2, 3.
Like, I get that you have it like readily available now, you know, on your Spotify or your Apple Music and all that stuff, but you still have to make the, you know, the relationship with the DJ. You can't just roll up and ask to play it, but you also can't just have a single that, you can't have a single that doesn't make sense in a club setting and ask the DJ to play it.
Do you know how dope it is, the feeling of knowing that, like, when I think of like DJing, like, yo, I think of like an artist coming out and hearing a song on the big speakers. Like, it's crazy to know that, like, yo, you may have never heard your song not on your phone, not in your car. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's not to say like, you know what I mean? I'm not even saying that in terms of like fans and things like that, but I'm just saying like,
well, and that's honestly
in another atmosphere, you have yet to hear your own music be played to see how a group of people react to it without saying, yo, this is my new song. Yo, what you think?
And that's honestly why I started in the field radio, was to be able to, you know, play songs over the radio for people in the area.
Oh,
that we're trying to get heard, and to be able to hear their songs next to people that were getting regular radio.
And nowadays it's like, if you get an opportunity, like there's this one moment I could turn into 20 moments.
Yeah.
With the power of social media right now.
Yeah.
So when you think like, okay, there's people that, you know, will pop out, I'm going to spin their song, and they might take flicks with the DJ. Yeah. You know, you go come through with your fit. There's, you know, catch video of the crowd and how they feeling it, catch video where you rap into it, catch video, you know what I mean? And all of these things uploaded to your TikTok, to your Instagram, to your Facebook, to this thing over here, whatever, your threads, you know, you finally see it all come together and you're like, yo, this one night I might have only popped out for an hour, but I turned it into weeks worth of content as well.
Yes.
So there's like, you know what I mean? You can make a lot out of, you know.
A little.
Yeah, no, very much so.
Yeah, and I feel the same way about the radio show. Like record it coming out of the speakers.
Yeah.
Post your reaction to it playing on the radio.
Y'all gonna make me start spinning AI artists.
No.
I've been saying that's a big conversation as of late too. I seen that Timbaland is starting a record label in which he is signing his first artist to be an AI artist.
I don't like it. I think it's trash.
I don't like it either, but I know there's so many artists using AI.
Yes.
That I think the artist itself being AI is something crazy. I think it's obviously an untapped market. I know, I don't know if you recall that they tried to do this a couple years ago with an artist that was signed to a major and they were trying to push it and it was very...
It got the same kind of backlash.
But it was very cringe and stereotypical and kind of gave reason for it to be canceled. So we got it up out of here and people were like, listen, you know, we got apologies from the label and things like that. But
and people are harassing Timbaland online for it. So I feel like if we push back the way that we are, and we don't support, right? Because that's part of it. As the consumer, we have the power to not support.
Yeah. I think Timbaland's very forward thinking as well. So he may just be like, listen, it's a market where dudes ain't going crazy in.
Yeah.
And, you know, he did it with verses. Don't forget him and Swiss Beats with the verse. So, you know, I try to take it like he doesn't mean ill intent to the music, but there's also this part where like, I
think it's just
we don't need inauthentic music.
And that's what I was going to say. It's just another artist taking up space in an area where people are already fighting.
This artist isn't gonna feel what I feel. We don't got the same experiences. We can't talk from the same thing. And not to say like I feel that way about every artist, but you know, if this artist doesn't have, you know, this artist, and I'm still talking about it like it's a person, right?
Isn't real.
Yeah, and that, but what I'm started really thinking about was the shows, tickets, to have somebody not even physically show up,
virtual
but
reality.
everybody might be, you know what I mean? And you know, when you think of this is tech all the way through. So I'm thinking about the bots. I'm thinking about it being forced to be the hottest thing smoking right now. And I'm just like, I just want artists to come through, feel that. But then we have conversations about how, you know, even just now we're talking about artists that wouldn't show up to get their music spun. It's like,
well, that's why
it's not going to be a job that this AI artist isn't willing to do, or the direction that it's not going to be willing to take.
Yeah, it won't be the struggle bus. You know what I mean? Like, AI is going to show up where you need them to show up.
I'm even thinking AI artists, it could be multiple places at once.
Yeah.
You know, it's never going to cancel an interview on us. I know that for sure.
Yo, and you're never going to have to, you don't have to fly them nowhere. You don't have to pay to have their nails done, their makeup done.
See,
outfit changes are instantaneous. Like, yeah, for sure.
That's why I think like it's so scary, because it's so endless and it's like it's so uncharted that we don't even know what it's capable of.
And that's why I don't even want to think about those types of things, because again, it's something that's taking up space in a lane that's already where people are already fighting for space. I don't like thinking about it.
It's crazy. We're gonna take a little minute. We're gonna let y'all think about it. We're gonna get into this next mix.
Back to Infield Radio. I'm Erin Boogie here with Rapz.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. This has been another one.
I was feeling that mix.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. I seen you bopping in there.
Yeah, I used to have the biggest crush on Don Omar.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Well, listen, check us every Monday, every 10 p.m. It's In The Field Radio.
Good night.